You're looking at a place in the United States without a single drop of drinkable water. Every ounce of safe water in Sandbranch is brought in from outside the town.
It's not really humane that this little city of Sandbranch, so close to downtown Dallas, doesn't have running water.
In its 142-year existence, Sandbranch has never had running water. And now, the well water, which used to be the life spring in this mostly black town, is contaminated. The result has been a steady drain of residents. So a place once home to hundreds only has dozens now.
There'd be a lot of people come back to this neighborhood if they had water.
The few remaining continue waiting to secure the win residents have spent decades fighting for: getting water flowing into Sandbranch.
They're not asking you for anything free. They're asking you for a water bill.
Hey fam, I'm Imayan, and I traveled to Sandbranch, Texas to tell you the story of how this developed nation is more likely to fail to resource Black and brown communities. I'm driving to a town less than 15 miles south of downtown Dallas on a chilly winter morning. Already I've had more simple interactions with water in the first hour of my day than any of Sandbranch's residents have had in the town's entire history. And that resonates with me.
How do you get water to your animals?
With the well, with the water hose. Come here, I'll show you.
I tour Vincent Offord's business to see how he manages to care for his cows, horses, and hogs in a place without running water.
That's what pumps the water to the hose over there. It comes all over here. I bring the water all over here. That one hose do a whole deal water, horses and all. Water all everything.
Big Shine, as Vincent is known, is a son of Sandbranch who no longer lives here, but visits the unincorporated town several days a week. His property is one of the few with a working well.
I got water. Some people have to haul water. They come to me to get water for the animals, you know, and I let them have water, you know.
The problem with Sandbranch isn't only that it doesn't have a municipal water system. It is also that its groundwater is contaminated. But that doesn't stop Big Shine from trying to convince me to drink it. After all, he tells me,
I've been drinking this water for years, and there ain't nothing wrong with drinking it. Taste it. Come on now, you can taste it. Come on, hey, we gonna do this. If I do it, you can do it. Come on, come on. It's not gonna kill you.
No, that water is contaminated.
This water's not, if it's contaminated, I'll be dead right now.
In a town with no stoplights, no trash, no sewage, this is how drinking water flows its way into Sandbranch.
How this going in here?
It's a carefully coordinated cycle happening every Saturday morning in the parking lot of the town's only church.
5 boxes, 5 water.
Concheska Howard Jones grew up here and loves this place so much, she visits it every weekend. Her grandfather pastored the church for 28 years.
It's pitiful to be so close to the heart of Dallas, like downtown Dallas, and not have running water. Like the people, if Sandbranch only had 2 people, they still have the same right to have water as Dallas that has 5 million people, right? So their lives don't matter because it's only 2 of them. Their rights don't matter because it's only 2 of them.
Chess, as she's known, is attacking a critique detractors have leveled at Sandbranch. Bringing water here is too costly to service such a small pool of people. The Texas Water Development Board approved $450,000 for the town's water and wastewater projects in August 2020. But the money is a trickle of what the town needs to fully fund running water and sewage. The total price tag is $6.5 million. And even Dallas County Commissioner John Wiley Price, who has represented the area for 36 years, has said, "I was never convinced that you could make it work." Price declined our request for an interview.
Sandbranch is the underdog. Just waiting on that one person to believe in them and do what it takes to help them really get the water. Like, not grab the ball and then drop it.
As Chess and I walk down her narrow childhood street, which used to be dotted with relatives' homes,
Almost brings me to tears a little bit because it's so different from what I remember. Like you see these driveways, these were houses. Families lived there.
she shows me what lack of water has cost Sandbranch.
There has been fires and people's homes burned down because there's no water. Yeah, my aunt's home burned down. The little neighborhood store lady, Miss Burton, she had a little corner store down there on the corner of Belline and Wilma Cleaver. Her house burned. My auntie's house was a complete loss, total loss.
Living in a waterless town means living in a place without fire hydrants. The satellite dish is all that's left of Chess's aunt's home. It sits on one of several empty lots where homes used to be. The houses may be gone, but Chess's fond memories remain.
Oh, that's the big tree. You see why we call it that?
Yes, it's very big.
Oh, I've been all up in that tree.
What she says she never realized while streaming through the trails of Sandbranch as a kid was how much the lack of running water impacted her life.
When I was a girl, sand was in the water. So you turn the water on, it will come out, sand was in it. So for eating and anything like that, we didn't use that water. You never had running water, city water, you don't know you don't have it. But after growing up and realizing what it is now, I understand that it's a negative thing and it's not really humane.
This is why Chess leaves her Dallas home early every Saturday morning to head to Sandbranch and distribute food and water.
Baby, I'm a rock with you if you rock with me. That part, that's what we're trying to do.
It's a ritual for her to help the people in this impoverished community she calls family. In fact, she still has biological family members living here. The case of Sandbranch is even more curious when you know every town bordering it has running water. And there's even a wastewater plant on its perimeter. Sandbranch, which has spent 40 years with contaminated groundwater, sits in the Trinity River Basin. It's because the town is so close to the river that many have argued against supplying it with water. They say it doesn't make sense to put expensive water infrastructure in a flood zone.
Look at that. Ain't that something? Floodplain area. Really?
How often has it flooded here?
Never. Never.
But then that's the sign.
That didn't used to be there.
She's right. Sandbranch has never flooded. And even if it had, Chess doesn't believe it's a reason to deny the town running water.
What does that have to do with anything? Guess how many times Houston has flooded?
This is Houston in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey in the summer of 2017. Tremendous rainfall caused devastating flooding all over the city. A major flood hits Houston about every 2 years.
We didn't expect it to be that bad. We didn't expect it to hit as many people as it did. And, like I said, driving around this neighborhood, you can just see how many people got devastated.
And nearly 30 damaging floods have happened in the Houston area. It's cost the region hundreds of millions of dollars in the last 70 years. And Houston still has running water. I traveled every street in Sandbranch, past every home multiple times, and no one, not one resident in this tight-knit yet closed community was willing to talk to me on camera about their plight. Outsiders had been to this town several times before. They've written articles about it and had local news stories on it.
The Sandbranch community's fight has been getting a lot of attention. Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins brought several groups together for the second time Wednesday to discuss strategies.
But none of the attention has resulted in an actual water system for Sandbranch.
So, I mean, if you've been constantly told no by a million different people that have no relation to you, no connection, the next person that comes, the mentality is I'm gonna get the same result, right? So if 50 reporters came through here saying, we're gonna get you water, we're gonna make it happen, and I've interviewed with all of those and I still don't have water, it's discouraging. So no, they don't want to talk to you. And in their minds, we'll continue doing what we've been doing, surviving how we've been surviving.
Race is the strongest indicator of whether or not an area will have access to water and sanitation. Communities of color, like Sandbranch, are more likely to lack water access than white neighborhoods. Poverty is also a reliable bellwether. A formerly enslaved black man from Louisiana founded Sandbranch with 11 other freedmen in 1878. On at least 2 occasions, residents have been offered buyouts to leave this place. Many have rejected such offers. They own their homes. Those who accepted discovered how little they really were receiving.
My mother was given $14,000. Was that enough? Absolutely not. It was a house. You gave her $14,000 to tear my house down. How many times can you pay your mortgage with that $14,000? 14. That's a year and 2 months. Now what does she do? I've heard that some people got $800, $600, but I can't tell you if that's factual because I didn't see the paperwork.
There are still small children living here, being raised in a digital world without the 19th century technology of indoor plumbing.
My hope is that Sandbranch will one day have water again and flourish like the fabulous community I know it to be.
Many residents told me they felt like they were being pushed out. Their commitment to Sandbranch, Texas, shows no signs of evaporating.
The community of Sandbranch, they feel like people look at them as like, woe is me, you know, like look down on them. It's not that kind of community. It's a proud community. So I hope and I pray that people will get that message if they don't get anything.